Hey everybody, Tony Mejia here for Wager Talk, offering up another set of ratchet games for the 2021 season. And in week two, it's going to be the Broncos and Jaguars. For those of you who don't know what ratchet games are, these are the matchups at the bottom of the NFL barrel. The gutter games are the ones that don't make the highlights. And if they do, they're score-only games. They're the ones that only the players' grandmothers are watching. So let's be real. Urban Meyer isn't going back to college just because the USC job came open. That's a funny joke, but still, that didn't stop me from making sure the terms of his contract remain undisclosed, just so I could see what his buyout is. He says he's committed to building an organization, but Jacksonville is probably a much bigger reclamation project than he expected, especially if they continue to play as awful as they did in week one. The Jaguars lost 37-21 in a game where they were actually favored, and they trailed wire to wire, dropping 6 passes and looking poorly coached. That's the indictment of Urban Meyer's work so far. Beyond number one pick Trevor Lawrence throwing 3 interceptions, the offense had to use 2 timeouts just to avoid delay of game penalties in the first quarter, and it shot themselves in the foot with illegal formations. It was ridiculous. They'll go into Sunday's game having not won in 370 days, a span of 16 games, drops, holding calls, bonehead plays that contributed to 10 turnovers and surrendering 449 yards of offense, all led to the brutal showing in Houston. The Texans converted on 57% of their third down opportunities. Jacksonville was successful just 27% of the time. Their opponent, Denver, actually won in week one, their first successful season opener in 3 years. The Broncos handled the banged-up New York Giants in East Rutherford by clamping down on defense, hitting 3 fourth down conversions, and pulling away for a 27-13 win. But they're dealing with some attrition, too. Jerry Jeudy, the Broncos' number one receiver, will miss at least a month with a high ankle sprain, which means Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, and Cortland Sutton, coming off a torn ACL, will have to step up in being Teddy Bridgewater's primary targets. Von Miller had 2 sacks against the Giants, and the defense should be able to get back Bradley Chubb after he missed week one with an ankle injury. Patrick Surtain, too, is replacing corner Ronald Darby, who is out with an injured hamstring, and the Broncos are on the road for a second straight week. They were scheduled to travel back east on Friday this week, a day earlier than usual to get accustomed once again, so it's clear that Vic Fangio is finally adjusting. Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon should fare well against the defense that gave up 160 yards on the ground to the Texans, with Fangio likely to confuse Lawrence with coverages and the Jags looking at a sin. There's really no way to do anything here but lay the points. Mistakes like the ones Jacksonville made to open the season don't magically disappear in a week's time. Meyer's a hell of a coach, but he's not a magician. Ride the Broncos, laying the 6 points in the week 2 ratchet game. For Wager Talk, I'm Tony Mejia.